Killpoint is a 1984 gunsploitation film about a city under siege and the one cop that can stop it. Directed by Frank Harris, Killpoint stars Leo Fong, Stack Pierce, Richard Roundtree, and John Cameron Mitchell. On the mean streets of Riverside, California, someone has taken military-grade weapons and placed them in the hands of street gangs. The crimes have caught the attention of the FBI, and their prime suspects are the unhinged Joe Marks and the notorious Nighthawk. They don't just want money, they want chaos. The local police send in their best detective, Lieutenant Joe Long, who's already having the worst year of his life. Can the authorities stop this crime wave and bring down these death dealers before the city falls in a hail of bullets? Killpoint watches like a vigilante film, a subgenre that experienced a renaissance in the 1970s that carried into the following decade. Maybe because movies were showing more shocking images than ever, or maybe audiences were skeptical that those in charge could keep us safe, but the compulsion to see one man vanquish evil with a bit of resolve and some hardware in hand resonated with audiences. Even martial arts masters recognized the kind of heroes audiences wanted to see, real-world warriors for real-world dangers. And so Leo Fong's Captain Long is that kind of cop, with a severe stare and a devastating grudge, somebody who works outside the rules when he has to, although things are so bad in the city that he has the full support of the police department. And Killpoint's production actually had the cooperation of the Riverside, California police, even cast a couple of real cops in speaking roles. The use of real police vehicles and trained officers gives the movie some production value, along with the weapons and squibs, but otherwise this is a really low-budget movie that even cuts corners on the cliches to get back to the gunplay as soon as possible. They sprinkle in some curse words in the obligatory topless bar scene, but it's the mayhem that makes this an exploitation film, with the brutality and rapidity to sate grindhouse appetites. Folks get their throats slit, they get choked, they get smacked around, and of course, they get shot. A lot. By M16 assault rifles, pump-action shotguns, .357 magnums, revolvers, mini-revolvers, sniper rifles, over 50 on-screen casualties. But with little else to engage the audience, even the mayhem can eventually get boring. At least the bad guys are interesting. In fact, they almost redeem the movie. There's 1980s era John Cameron Mitchell, which we'll talk about in another episode, but the short version is John Cameron Mitchell in the 1980s was like Nicolas Cage in the Red Box era. You don't expect the movie to be good or even the performance to be good, but the performance definitely takes the movie to another level. However, the MVP of this movie is Stack Pierce as Nighthawk. Whoever he's playing against, he's always the most dangerous man in the room, often with little or no dialogue. He is the best reason to slog through this movie. As for the heroes, Richard Roundtree gets severely underused, leaving Leo Fong to bring the charisma, and that is not why Leo Fong fans watch his films. He does start using his martial arts after minute 45, but he's just as likely to shoot someone or hit them with his car as he would be to spin kick them to the ground. The climactic raid allows him to spar one-on-one with each of Nighthawk's 4 horsemen. It's a welcome change of pace to intercut with the shootout. Killpoint is on the radar of cult movie fans thanks to Leo Fong, creator of the Wei Kung Do fighting style, combining elements of Western boxing that he learned in Arkansas as a teenager with the various Asian fighting styles he would learn when he moved to Southern California in the 60s. A contemporary of Bruce Lee, Fong would write the first books in English on several martial arts forms. Fong's first stab at the big screen was a project in the Philippines, 1974's Murder in the Orient. While it wasn't the next Enter the Dragon, it allowed Fong to continue making movies in the Philippines on projects that would introduce him to many future collaborators, including John Cameron Mitchell, Stack Pierce, and director Frank Harris, who met Fong as a cinematographer for 1976's Enforcer from Death Row. James Liu also worked with Leo Fong on Death Row before sparring against him in Killpoint. Liu's prowess in fight choreography would keep him in demand in Hollywood, first as a stuntman, then as a stunt coordinator, culminating in a 2018 Emmy win for his work on Luke Cage. Killpoint cast several karate and martial arts competitors and grandmasters of the day, including Ray Dalk, Edmund Otis, Steve Nasty Anderson, and Bill Superfoot Wallace. This movie's even got a blink and you'll miss it cameo of Branscombe Richmond of Renegade fame. So, if you want to see guns, 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 and the context doesn't matter, you'll get something out of this film. Otherwise, Killpoint is a certified bad movie night movie, and that's been celebrated at length in other corners of the internet. If you don't want to enjoy this movie ironically, watch it like Nighthawk is the lead. The movie starts and ends with him, and following his performance in this will make you want to see him in other films. Certainly, you don't want to turn your back on this guy.